All right. Good afternoon, everyone. All the students from OK English and everyone else who might be watching. Um, my name is Jaco. I will be your host. We might say your host for this evening or for this afternoon, and I'll be doing the live stream for today and for for a few lessons this month as well. I want to welcome everyone that's watching. If you are watching from anywhere in the world, from Poland, from a different country, please leave a comment. I would like to see if there is someone there. It would be great to get some feedback from you guys. So before I get to the topic of today's conversation or today's presentation, um, I would like to say a few things about myself. Like I said, my name is Jaco. I'm from South Africa, and I'll be sharing some topics that are interesting for me, that might be interesting for you guys. Oh, I'm getting some comments over there. That's great. I'm getting a comment from Monica. Hi, Monica. Nice to meet you too. That's great. Um, Getting some interaction from you guys. So, yes, I think we can get started. We have Justina as well joining. Hello, Justina. Very nice to see you there. Um, so, guys, today I thought about talking about my country, but not just about my country in general. I want to talk about something specific, which is nature and biodiversity in South Africa. Now, that might sound like a word that you're not familiar with, the word biodiversity, but don't worry, I will explain everything to you guys. We've got some nice pictures as well. Basically, we're going to take a look at animals and nature in South Africa. All right, so the first slide is on the screen. If you guys can see the slides, I would love to know because this is my first time live streaming. So if you guys can see the slides, I put the first slide up. It says biodiversity, wildlife and biodiversity in South Africa. Can you guys see the slides? Wonderful. Okay, we've got confirmation that we can see the slides. So, guys, the first question on the first page, we already have a question. What is biodiversity? Well, it's very easy. We can break up the word biodiversity into two different parts. The first part is bio or biology, and that means all living things, plants and animals, basically, all living things. And the second part of the word is diverse or diversity. What does that mean? Diversity means things that are different, things that are not the same. So the word biodiversity means plants and animals that are different. And as we will see, South Africa has a lot of biodiversity. So let's go to the next slide and we will see some more. All right. So there are a few pictures of some scenes in South Africa, some photos of South Africa. Over here we have the coastline at the top. We've got a few mountains with some flowers. We've got an ocean, a kind of coastal picture with a coral reef. And some of you guys might not know that South Africa is a third world country. It's not a first world country, it's a third world country, which means it is still developing. The economy is still developing. Um, there are not many factories, there are not many big industries. Now, what does that mean for South Africa's environment? What does that mean for nature and for animals? Well, it's kind of a good thing because there are not too many big businesses, not too many big factories that can cause pollution, that can um, so our environment is very, we can say pure, maybe we can say it's very clean. Our environment, the oceans are very clean, and it's also a very popular place for tourism. People come from all over the world to see animals, to see nature, and there's something for everyone. Some people come to see the flowers. Some people come to see mountains. Some people come to do scuba diving. Scuba diving is very popular in South Africa. Um, People like some people come here to hunt. Of course, that is not a very positive thing because, of course, when we're hunting, we're shooting the animals. But some people come here for hunting as well. That is their choice. Now, when we look at the next slide, we have a few vocabulary words. Now, everyone likes learning new vocabulary, and I thought that it might be a good idea if I give you guys some vocabulary you can use when talking about the environment, when talking about animals, when we're talking about nature, and everything, everything related to animals, plants, and nature. The first word that we have at the top is the word ecosystem. Now, what does this mean? It sounds like a big word. It's used sometimes in science, but it's actually not that difficult to understand. An ecosystem, I wrote it down in the small text. An ecosystem is a community of organisms and their environment. Now we can maybe change the word organisms and we can maybe say a community of animals and plants to make it a little bit easier. So it's a community of animals and plants and their environment. I also wrote down an ecosystem can be anything from a small environment to a bigger environment. And if you guys have any questions or any suggestions about the this vocabulary, please drop me a comment. But an ecosystem can be the trees outside your house. If you think about this, there's a tree, there are little small insects living in the trees, there are maybe some birds living in the tree and some squirrels. Now that is an ecosystem, right? The tree outside your house is a small ecosystem. There are different plants and different animals living in that environment. An ecosystem can also be a bigger area. For example, a river or a lake or the forest. And of course, there are many more plants and animals living in the forest. The forest is just a bigger ecosystem than the trees outside your house. So the next vocabulary word is the word mammal. And the way I like to describe a mammal is any kind of animal that that is warm-blooded. So we animals that that can create their own body heat. But the most important thing I think about mammals is when the babies get born, they are alive. So humans, we are mammals. Um, Chimpanzees and monkeys, gorillas, those kinds of animals, they are also mammals. And some mammals also live in the ocean, like dolphins, whales, and seals. For those of you who didn't know, dolphins are also mammals, and whales are also mammals. So any animal that that gives birth to live babies are known as mammals. The next word we have, reptile. Reptiles are special kind of animals. They are not mammals. They lay eggs, and anything like a snake, a lizard, or crocodiles. Crocodiles are some of the biggest reptiles, as we will see in later in the presentation. Reptiles lay eggs, like I said, and they are cold-blooded. The next word, aggressive. Now, aggressive can people can be aggressive. Some people can be aggressive, but it's not only angry. It's more than angry. When we talk about animals that are aggressive, usually it is an animal that doesn't want other animals to come close to them. If you picture this, if you go for a walk and there is a dog that is barking very much, and you can see its teeth, it looks angry, we can say the dog is aggressive. And as we will see in or when I think about people that are driving, some drivers on the road can be aggressive sometimes. You guys can imagine. We all see it sometimes. We get aggressive drivers as well. But when we're talking about animals, we will see that certain animals are more aggressive than others. The next word we have, territory. Territory. And guys, please feel free to make your own sentences with these vocabulary words. Someone mentioned that in Poland we have a lot of aggressive drivers. Yes, in South Africa we have a lot of aggressive drivers too. Can be dangerous sometimes. Yeah, guys, please feel free to make your own sentences using some of the vocabulary words, even if you're not 100% sure how to use it. Just try. It's always good to practice. Paulina says hello. Hello, Paulina, and welcome. All right, getting back to the vocabulary words. The next one we have is territory. Now, territory can mean an area where certain animals live, and animals don't like it when people or when other animals come into their territory. You can imagine, or if you can picture this, there's a group of lions living together, and they don't want, for example, rhinos or elephants to come into their territory. Maybe they will chase them away. So the territory is the area where some animals live, and they protect that area because it belongs to them, or at least they live in that area. The next word we have is predator. Someone mentioned the other day the movie Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't know if you've seen that movie. It's a action movie from the 80s, I believe. We're not talking about that predator. We are talking about animals, of course. Some animals are predators. What does that mean? It's very easy to understand. A predator is an animal that catches and eats other animals. It sounds very bad, but that happens in nature, of course. If there's a lion and a zebra, the lion is the predator and the zebra is the prey. That is the next vocabulary word as well. So you can picture this. Very easy to understand. What is a predator? A lion is a predator. He eats the zebra. Unfortunately, the zebra is the prey because he gets eaten by the lion. The next vocabulary word, migrate. People migrate as well. Some people move from one country to another, but it's I believe when we're talking about people, we should use the term immigrate, immigrate or emigrate. But when animals move from one part of the world to another, we call it migrate. So I'm pretty sure you guys have seen a nature show where all the birds fly from one part of the world to another part of the world. And it's a big group of birds. They live here where it's nice and warm, but then when it's winter time, they fly away and they all move to a different country sometimes or a different part of that country. We call that migrate. The animals migrate, move from one place to a next. You guys are giving some nice sentences here as well. Paulina says, we have predators in Poland, for example, wolves. Paulina, you can say we also have predators in Poland, for example, wolves or a wolf. That's right. South Africa doesn't have any wolves. We don't have those kinds of predators. Um, I believe wolves are found in Europe and America, but they are not found in South Africa. Monica says, whales are the biggest mammals in the ecosystem. Monica, you are correct. As you will see in one of the slides, we have whales in South Africa as well, which are, of course, some of the biggest animals in the ecosystem. And they're amazing. They're just amazing creatures. Malgorzata. Malgorzata, welcome. Very welcome. It's great to see you here. It's very good to see you. Getting back to the vocabulary words. The next one is mating season. Mating season, to make it simple, it's the time of the year when animals make new babies. All animals have a mating season, and they get together, they make babies, and then they go on their way, and the babies will be born maybe in springtime, maybe in different conditions when it's safer or some time like that. The next one, we've got 3 vocabulary words left. I wrote here marine life. Now, that's maybe a new word for you guys. We can replace marine life with ocean life. But if you think about the word a submarine, a submarine, we've got the word marine in there, right? So then you have an idea. It is about the ocean. Submarines go into the ocean. But when you see the word marine, it's everything to do with the ocean. Anything in the ocean is part of the marine ecosystem. The next one, endangered species. Endangered species. That's kind of a sad topic. Endangered species are all kinds of animals that are basically in danger. They and they are almost gone from the earth. Some animals are more endangered than others. For example, let's take the panda from China. There are no more pandas left in the wild. You can only find them in zoos. Same with tigers. Same with certain kinds of monkeys, like small monkeys. Many different animals are endangered. That means our children and our grandchildren might not see them because they will not be here. There will not be more of them left, unfortunately. Many people are working to protect endangered species, but as you will see, there are many animals that are endangered, especially in Africa. And the last one, our final vocabulary word, national park. Now, I mentioned the endangered species. Luckily, there are national parks that are dedicated to protecting different kinds of species. And remember, guys, plants can also be endangered species. Those big trees, those amazing trees that are everywhere that people cut down to make furniture and everything, some of those trees are endangered. Some of those trees are hundreds and hundreds of years old. We need to know about this. We need to protect not only animals, but plants and rivers, lakes, all those kinds of things. So those are all the vocabulary words. Paulina says, in the Baltic Sea is marine life too. Very nice, Paulina. That's right. In the sea, we have marine life. So are you guys ready to check out the first slides? Oh, Monica. Monica gave us a nice message here. She says, for the most part, fish live in the Baltic Sea. There is a mating season during summertime, so it's not possible to eat fresh fish during vacation. Only frozen are available for restaurants and clients. Well, that's one way of protecting the fish, right? Because people cannot catch them while they have a mating season, because we're going to eat all of them. So it's great to take a break. If fishing companies take a break and they don't catch the fish, there will be more fish for the next year and for the future as well. So guys, on this slide, I put some pictures of South Africa's coastline and some penguins as well. And what some of you might not know is that South Africa has one of the richest ocean ecosystems in the world. That means our coastline, our oceans are very clean. It's not very polluted. The water is nice and clear, nice and blue. There's not a lot of plastic and oil and terrible things like that in the water around the coastline of South Africa. And South Africa is home to a lot of different species of marine life, such as penguins, seals, many different species of sharks. We will see one of the species in a moment, and also whales and dolphins. Paulina says the I'm very sorry, that is a name that I cannot pronounce, but she mentions a national park in Poland. Sorry, Paulina, I cannot pronounce that name. That's my bad. Christopher says, I want to go to South Africa so badly now. Christopher, please come and take a look for yourself. You won't be disappointed. Let's go to the next slide, guys. I'm starting off with probably the scariest animal on the list, but sharks are awesome, right? Sharks are amazing. And this is one of the most famous species of shark, probably around the world. If you watch a movie about like Jaws or a scary movie about sharks, usually it's like a horror movie. Sharks get a very bad reputation. It's probably because they look so scary. But most people think that sharks will eat you. Well, they will definitely bite you, but it's very rare that that happens. And when a shark attacks people, um, it's only because the person entered the shark's territory. You guys can imagine this. Sharks don't walk up around the street on the sidewalk and come and bite you, right? Humans go into the ocean and we swim around and we think, hey, wow, we're swimming with the sharks. Then you might have a problem if you want to go and swim with sharks. That is the only time when sharks attack people. And interesting thing about interesting thing about great white sharks, the females get bigger than the males, which is interesting in the animal kingdom. Usually, male animals get bigger than females, same with humans as well. But the female great white shark in general is bigger than the males. Now, this is not the only kind of shark in South Africa. There are other kinds of other species as well, but this was the most famous one. So I included the great white. Let's continue. Let's look at some more ocean creatures. In South Africa, we have three different species of dolphin. Um, Most people love dolphins. They are shown as friendly creatures. They're very intelligent. Um, I've heard some stories where dolphins help people who are swimming and maybe they're drowning or they're having problems. I don't know if this is true. You guys can search for yourself. Um, but I've heard stories like that where dolphins can rescue people or something like that. Now, South Africa has three different kinds of dolphin or three different species of dolphin. As you see in the text, we have the bottlenose dolphin. And I believe the bottlenose dolphin is the most popular or the most famous species in the world of dolphin. We also have the humpback dolphin and the Pacific dolphin. Dolphins are mammals. Paulina, thank you. Yes. Paulina says dolphins are very nice and friendly mammals. Of course, yes. I don't believe they attack people. Um, and they are mammals. They give birth to live babies. And dolphins live in groups up to 50 or more. so they can live in quite large groups. Okay, English asks, can you go and observe them in their natural habitat? I believe you can. I haven't done this myself, but I know there are boat trips that people take to go and watch whales in South Africa. So I believe you can watch dolphins as well. Um, I also think you have to go in the right time of the year, maybe when they are close to the shoreline. The final ocean creature that we're going to take a look at is the humpback whale. And I mentioned we have many different species of whales that swim close to South Africa's coastline. But the humpback whale is the one that you will see most often. People go whale watching um, there's a town called Hermanus. Some people pronounce it Hermanus, but you can also say Hermanus. And you can go and see whales. I believe it's during their mating season where they come close to the shore. But I've walked there in the past. I wasn't on a boat. I was just walking in the streets, and you can see whales coming really close to the shoreline. It's quite amazing. These whales can live up to um, 90 years. That's as old as someone's grandmother or great grandmother. It's just as old as people. It's amazing. Um, and they also migrate to different parts of the world. And they can migrate up to 9,000 kilometers. That's crazy. 9,000 kilometers to look for places to raise their babies. Paulina says, I swam with dolphins. That's awesome. It's something that I would like to do as well. I'm a little bit scared of the ocean, but I will swim with dolphins. I just don't want any other kinds of bigger or scarier animals with me. All right. Okay, guys. So I've got a little quiz for you about some of the animals that we took a look at. And the first question is, in your own words, and you can write it in the chat. In your own words, what is a mammal? So describe the word mammal in your own words. The next question is, true or false? Male great white sharks are bigger than females. You can write that in the chat as well. I'll give us a few minutes for you guys to maybe write some answers. And then question number 3, true or false, the humpback whale can live up to 30 years maximum. All right. So question number 1 again, in your own words, what is a mammal? Number 2, true or false, male great white sharks are bigger than females. And number 3, true or false, the humpback whale can live up to 30 years maximum. Monica says false. Monica, is that for question 2 or question 3? Question 2. That's correct, Monica, you are right. It's actually the female sharks, female great white sharks, that are bigger than the males. Great stuff, Monica. You are correct. Can anyone describe in their own words what is a mammal? You don't have to Google the definition. It would be nice if you try to use your own words. That's always good to practice using our own words. All right. Monica, thank you so much. Monica, you're a champion. Monica says mammals are warm-blooded animals. Monica, I will write here in the chat just to help change a few words in that sentence. Mammals are warm-blooded animals. But your answer is perfect. The focus was not grammar, so your answer is perfect. Well done. All right, I think let's continue. So we already answered question number one, or Monica answered it for us. Mammals are warm-blooded animals. Question two is false. The females are bigger than the males. And question three is false. The humpback whale can live up to 90 years, not 30 years, 90 years. Katarzyna says, but birds are warm-blooded too. That's correct, Katarzyna. However, birds are not mammals because they lay eggs. Mammals don't lay eggs. All right, let's go to the next slide. Guys, here we see the big five. The big five in South Africa is, I put all of these animals together because they're kind of the most popular animals that people think about when they think about South Africa and Africa. What are the big five? Let's go through the list. The big five is the lion. Very famous, probably the most famous African animal, right? The lion. Next, we have the elephant. We have the rhinoceros. That's interesting spelling for the rhinoceros. If you just say rhino, that's fine. I personally use the word rhino. Rhinoceros is a little bit long, but you can say rhinoceros. Next, we have the African buffalo and also the leopard. Now, these animals are known as the big five. Why? Because they're the most popular animals for tourism. However, as you will see, in my opinion, they're amazing, but there are different kinds of amazing animals that we have as well that are maybe not so popular. People know about them, but they're not as popular as the big five. I like to talk about the less popular animals. Now, one thing that I want to mention before we go to the next slide. All of these animals, the big five and all of the other ones that you will see in the slides, they live in national parks. They don't live in the wild, unfortunately, anymore. They do live in their natural habitat. There's another word for you guys. I didn't write that in the chat, but natural habitat. So in the wildlife parks, people want to create a natural environment for the animals where they can be free and they can do what they do naturally. However, these places are national parks. and these places are protected. People cannot go into these places and shoot the animals, of course not. And people cannot go and do things with the animals like catch them or play with them or whatever. It should be like nature. And that's why these national parks should be protected. So that's the big five. Let's look at some other animals that you can also find in South Africa that are very amazing. The next one of my favorites, the hippo or the hippopotamus. Now, guys, I've seen hippos before. I in the wild in national parks. Now, hippos are probably the most dangerous animal on the list. Why? During mating season, they um, they are very aggressive. People cannot go near them when they have babies with them. They will chase you, and don't think you can run away from a hippo because their running speed is 30 kilometers per hour. An average human being, an average human can only run about 16 kilometers per hour unless you are an athlete like a sprinter. Um, so hippos are dangerous in the water. They are also dangerous on land, and I think they are just amazing. Just look at them. They look like dinosaurs. I believe they are some of the last surviving dinosaurs. Um, okay, English. I believe it's Joanna or maybe Agnieszka says, "I love hippos. I love hippos too." Um, yes, here's the hippo. They will not attack people for no reason. It's only during mating season when they are aggressive, and they will come out of the water and they actually chase people. Let's go to the next slide. Another great one, the African crocodile. I've seen crocodiles before. Crocodiles are much more relaxed than hippos, believe it or not. Um, the tour guide at the national park actually told us crocodiles are, unless you go into the water and you try and swim with the crocodiles, they will not attack you. Even if you fall into the water, they will not attack you because they don't see you as food. If you maybe are bleeding or something, they will come to you and they might bite you, but they don't come out of the water. Um, yeah, they will not attack you on land. I put some interesting information about crocodiles over there as well. And this is really crazy, but a crocodile can have 4,000 teeth in their lifetime. How does this happen? Well, they've got a lot of teeth, sometimes up to 100 teeth, more than 100 teeth, and every tooth can fall out 50 times. So if you do the math there, according to what I read, this is just the statistics that I read, they can change their teeth up to, or they can have up to 4,000 teeth during their lifetime. Also, crocodiles live very long. I believe, I don't want to give the statistics, but I believe they can live more than 50 years in the wild. All right, next one. Beautiful animal. It's the cheetah. You guys probably are familiar experiencing some difficulties. Hello, I think I'm back. Can you guys see me? Can you guys hear me? I hope so. Let me go to the slide with the cheetahs. All right, I'm back. Okay, great stuff. Okay, awesome. Guys, let's quickly talk about the cheetah. So cheetahs are very interesting. They're the fastest animal on land. I believe they're the fastest animal in the world. But for sure, they are the fastest land animal. They can reach speeds up to 120 kilometers per hour. That's crazy. That's like your car. One interesting thing about cheetahs is they hunt during the day. And why is that interesting? Because most cats or most cat species hunt during the night. This is not the case with cheetahs. They hunt during the day. And another interesting thing is the male cheetahs, they live in groups for the most part. And the female cheetahs, they like living alone. So they are solitary animals. If an animal is solitary, that means they like living alone. Okay. And we've got another quiz. We've got 3 questions. First one is, which 5 African animals are known as the Big 5? I hope you guys can remember that. Question 2, when are hippos especially dangerous? During what time? I think I mentioned a specific time when hippos are very dangerous. And question 3, how fast can cheetahs run? I'll give you guys a few minutes to answer some of the questions. Question 1, which 5 African animals are known as the Big 5? Number 2, when are hippos especially dangerous? During which time of the year? During which time? And how fast can cheetahs run? I'll give you guys a few minutes. Yes, that's right. Okay, English. Joanna says 120 kilometers per hour. That's correct. I even heard that. Well, some websites say they can run up to 125, 128 kilometers. But yeah, 120 is the consensus. Most people agree, or most scientists agree, that cheetahs run 120 kilometers per hour. That's really amazing. Who can answer question number 2? When are hippos especially dangerous? When are hippos especially dangerous? Monica says the big 5: rhino, elephant, lion, and 2 left. Who can help? Who can help Monica? Which 2 animals are left? We have the rhino, the elephant, and the lion. Christopher, thank you so much. Christopher answered question number 2, and he said, when are hippos especially dangerous? During mating season, Christopher. That is all good. Perfect answer. They are dangerous during mating season. Monica, the leopard, definitely, and the buffalo, the African buffalo. I would put the giraffe on the big five. Yes, the buffalo, the African buffalo. Um, so we've got the big five: the rhino, the elephant, the lion, the buffalo, and the leopard. Okay, let's continue, guys. Now here's an animal that you guys have maybe seen, maybe not. It's a beautiful antelope. Antelopes are a kind of four-legged animal, but this antelope is known as the gemsbok. In South Africa, we call it the colloquial language is the gemsbok. However, the scientific name perhaps is the South African oryx or the long-horned oryx. Their horns can get as long as 1.2 meters. They're amazing creatures. I've seen them in the wild. People actually have them on their people with big property, like nature conservationists, or people who are passionate about nature in South Africa. They get them on their property, and they want them to mate, make more babies, so that they can reintroduce them into the wild. They can survive in temperatures of up to 45 degrees Celsius. So they're quite adaptable. They're very strong animals, and they just look so beautiful. They're amazingly beautiful. Next one. Beauty. Giraffe. Guys, I can tell you, I've seen giraffe in Botswana, not in South Africa. I went on a trip to the just north of my country, just north of South Africa. There's a country called Botswana. I will post it in the chat. Botswana. Maybe you guys have heard of Botswana. And in Botswana, very funny. We were driving, me and my family were driving in the car. It was a long time ago, many years ago. And my dad stopped the car and he told us, hey, there's a giraffe standing next to the road. And we were like, what? Giraffe? Come on. It's like we're driving in the street. And I'm not joking, guys. This was the first animal that we saw when we entered Botswana, and it was just chilling. It was just standing next to the road, not even in a national park. It was in the wild, just like you're driving next to the street. It was amazing. We saw so many different kinds of animals that time, but giraffes are just amazing. They look like dinosaurs. In my opinion, they are some of the last surviving dinosaurs. Um, they can get very tall. Adult males can grow up to 5.5 meters, which is very high. And every giraffe has unique spots. So it's like a person's fingerprints. Um, all their spots, every single giraffe have unique spots. Next slide. Of course, everyone knows the zebra. I'll quickly talk about the zebra. We don't have that much time. Zebras are closer to donkeys than they are to horses. So many people think zebras are a species of wild horse. That is not the case. they're actually closer to donkeys, to the donkey family. And same like with giraffes, their stripes are unique. So every single giraffe has unique stripes. Let's continue. Ostriches. Ostriches can be found all around South Africa, even not in nature reserves, even on some farms. You see them next to the road sometimes, but they are in people's property. So maybe if someone has a lot of animals in their yard, they will have ostriches as well. Very interesting thing about ostriches, they eat small rocks to help them grind up and digest their food. They can run very fast. They can run up to 70 kilometers per hour. And they are used to dry grasslands. They're used to dry weather. So they are very strong, adaptable animals. Okay, right, guys. We've got a few minutes for some quick questions, and please feel free to give your answers. Um, the first question is, how long can the horns of the South African oryx grow? So you guys remember that beautiful antelope with the long horns and the beautiful skin? Um, how long can the horns of the gemsbok or the South African oryx grow? Question two, how long after being born can baby giraffes stand up? Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize. I didn't tell you guys that. So newborn baby giraffes can stand after 30 minutes. Very amazing. 30 minutes after being born, they can already stand up. So I just answered question number two. And question three, what do ostriches eat to help them digest food? Can anybody answer question one and question three? I'll give a few minutes, maybe 1 or 2 minutes. Question one, how long can the horns of the South African oryx grow? And question three, what do ostriches eat to help them digest their food? Okay, okay, English. Thanks, okay, English. Joanna, small rocks. That's correct. The answer for question three is ostriches like to eat small rocks to help them digest their food. Does anybody know the answer for question one? What? Someone said children. I think that's maybe the answer for a different question. I don't know if the question is is over here. That's maybe the answer for a vampire or something. But no, guys, the answer for question one is how long can the horns of the oryx grow? It's 1.2 meters. 1.2 meters. All right. So we asked some questions. You guys learned some vocabulary. I would love to see your comments on the OK English page. I've got two more animals there. It's the fish eagle and the secretary bird. You guys can go and check some more animals about in Africa when you have free time. And I just want to say thanks for joining. Please check out OK English's Facebook page. Tell us what you enjoyed. Leave suggestions for future live chats. And I will see you guys very soon. Goodbye for now.